that was a close call. I had to just restart my Streamlabs instance, as is often the case, which keeps me employed, folks, by restarting computers. I'm a glorified computer restarter for a living. Just joking. There's slightly more involved in it. I search Google as well, folks. Just joking. There's a little bit more to it as well, but honestly, not too much anymore now with ChatGPT. Dare I say that's the triangle of terror to keep yourself employed as an IT professional. You just have to convince your employers otherwise. Welcome to Start Building Me, my nightly training session during the week to keep you up to date with the reality that consistency in exercise is far more important than the intensity, i.e. how hard you train, and the duration, how long you train. If you train once a week hard in 2 hours, it doesn't really matter. You're better off just doing short bursts of energy throughout the week. Every day. Jazz in the house, good to see you. I hope you're feeling better from the cold. I am not sure if you're like me. I am the worst man flu candidate in the world. I hate being sick with colds. Smith & Wesson town. Just joking, folks. Most of you probably don't know what Smith & Wesson is anyway, so I can get away with it under the radar, folks, which is the style that I usually prefer. Sal Star Jump in the house. Ahoy, ahoy. Get yourself slightly warmed up. Move yourself through some joint mobility drills backwards. You can see how bad my shoulder flexibility is. Oh, it doesn't matter, folks, as we are in Start Building Me. This is not an advanced yogi class. This is not an advanced powerlifting class, extreme bodybuilding, anything. This is a program for people who have never exercised before, who have come back after injury, and yeah, massive man flu candidate. I know the feeling then well. I am always just trying to show folks that to start building yourself and develop your sense of well-being and realizing that it is all physical centric, the yi, the chi, whatever you want to call it, in all these different languages and all these different cultures. The heart and the brain have unison, the duality in there, folks. You've got to have them both in tune with their environment to get the most out of them. It's just a fact, folks. People like to argue with me all the time, thinking that you can get the most out of your body without training it. I disagree, and I think the reality is science disagrees with you as well if you're one of those people. Anyway, let's walk and talk. I want to get in and out of here. Like I always say, my whole point is to show you how quickly I can get it done. As you can see, I can't get it done quickly with my wordsmithery and non-stop jibber jabber, folks. Mr. T would be beating me senseless. Anyway, what are we doing? It's called exercise as always. I'm not going to get too much over the form stickling stuff, but user at Start Building Me, if you want to check it out on YouTube. I'm palming that stuff off now. I don't want to wake up. I certainly don't want to wake up. I want to go to bed after this because I'm knackered, folks. S-Sanity 2, if she's in the house, took me and the lads to the beach today, and I didn't run myself ragged, but yeah, I'm kind of tired now. Anyway, went to the gym as well. Let's do a few squats, like sitting down on a chair, standing back up. If the form sticklers are going to attack me, I'll stand a bit wider, keep my back going perpendicular, meaning a right angle to the ground. Pumping that blood through your quadriceps, through your hamstrings, through your gluteal muscles, lower back. Get it around and through your body, going reoxygenating it through your lungs, going up into your brain, folks. It has been long determined that 35 minutes of moderate exercise is required for your brain's optimum functioning. So that in alone kind of says, folks, that you got to exercise to get the most out of your brain. Now, look at the big brain on Brad. Just so you're really smart and you don't exercise. Just think of the last few percent that you could get out. If you just went for a walk, did some of this, went to the gym, whatever it is, there is always exercise that I can find for people that they enjoy. You don't have to do, what everybody else does. In fact, that's the path to failure for most people. And who was it? I can't remember. Was it Walt Whitman? The path less traveled? That has made all the difference. No, it was William Blake. I can't remember. Lots of brain damage since school for me, folks. So, and you know, much more into German literature as it was. Anyway, let's get some blood pumping. Let's get out of here. And me still watching the repeats of the Premier League. You know me. Monday-itis. Stand a little bit wider. Try and keep my back going a little bit straighter. Didn't do any legs at the gym. Just did the beach muscles today, bro. Wanted to get back into the gym. Was on the phone to Sally Starjump. Said I wanted to go for a run. So I did that. Topped out at 30 minutes. Felt pretty good anyway. 30 minutes for me these days. Whilst trying to go for muscular hypertrophy at the moment. But the last 2 weeks have been kind of deloaded because I may or may not have gone a little bit too hard at 450 days, folks, and did a little bunch of tendon damage in my legs and my arms, so winding it back a little bit now. Doing everything a little bit more leisurely, not going for 90 minutes to the gym every day. Every other day is what I'm having to settle at. 1 week shy of 41 years old, folks. And so, before you criticize me of being a dust collecting young neo-boomer, then think, hey, I'm watching some other kid play video games and I'm pudgy, then come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. Prove me wrong, do some push-ups, do some squats. It is as your preferred deity intended. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you want to call it quits at 5, maybe 3. Maybe you want to go on your way. It's a good start, folks. Like I always say, here at Start Building Me, you want to compete with yourself and your performance yesterday. No more, no less. That is a really important thing. Most people get blindsided by exercise thinking, well, I'm not as good as LeBron James, or I'm not as good as Serena Williams, therefore why bother? Well, I put it to you folks that both those people weren't as good as, say, Michael Jordan, or weren't as good as let me think of an older tennis player that I know. Martina Hingis was a great tennis player before Serena Williams. And, you know, practice makes perfect, folks. But like I said, forget all that performance athleticism. The purpose of athleticism is performance over time. And that's what we're doing here at Start Building Me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And get breathing. Whatever it is that you're doing. Could be therabands. It could be blinking in synchronous to my voice sound or something crazy like that. Doesn't sound that crazy to me, actually. I'm going to take my own advice and breathe. I made a fatal mistake, folks. This evening, I was watching the news. I don't know, crazy things. They used to call me the masochist. It's now a nickname that I don't find very amusing at all. But sometimes that masochist trait comes out and I switch on the news and it ruins my day. And then I was just like, what am I doing? So folks, please, switch off the news. There's no news in news. If you're going to do anything, hey, you're better off even watching people play video games. Maybe buying some bubble bath water from some girl, which is the way that people do things on Twitch these days, and then do DNA tests on the water to find out that there is no DNA in it, meaning that you just wasted your money. So, rather than do that, come and do some of this, because there's something actually to be gained by it, folks. How about that? A game is great. Diablo 2, Diablo 3, I know Jazz and I were big into those games. You're developing a character, spending a lot of time farming and clicking and clicking and clicking, giving yourself repetitive strain injury, only to finish the game or to get bored of it, and then you discard it. The best thing about Start Building Me is we're developing a character that will stay with you for the very long length of your life, folks. And like I said, quality of life versus lifespan are two different metrics. I'm always one to go for the quality of life metric because, folks, if you have a good quality of life, it's much more important than living life 120 years as a frail vegetable. You know, that might be great. I don't know. I haven't lived 120 years as a frail vegetable. Prefer the risk for Diablo 4. I didn't need to hear that, Jazz. What are you doing for me? Yes, I'm going to buy it. Damn it. Diablo 4 it is. When's it coming out? It's probably going to be subscription based, $70 a day. They're going to gouge just like you will gouge no more. Diablo 3 was already a retainer sort of agreement, as I recall. And that was what? We were living in Erskineville, so that must have been 2007 or 2008 or something like that. Man. See, folks, time flies when you're having fun. That's why you should be involved in some sort of exercise, get the blood pumping. I think I burn more energy talking than most people do exercise at the gym, folks. So come on, there's a benchmark. Try and compete with me there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And even I'm going easy. CS2, oh my goodness. Rewind. CS2. That would be amazing. It's another 2. That's like, speaking of triangles and Terra and Diablo, that's like the devil trying to drag me in with those 2 games. Sorry folks, my Twitch channel is going to be revamped to a CS Diablo 4 channel. Well, you can watch me watching somebody else play Diablo and CS2, because I'll be too busy. In fact, I should make a channel where I'm just training watching people play CS2 or Diablo 4. That would be cool. As always, folks, shake out your legs, get the blood pumping. Might want to do some head circles. Head circles are great. Like I said, don't throw your neck around like that. Your Achilles heel is, you know, really not the weakest part of your body, folks. Your neck is. I think people neglect their necks a lot. And especially people getting bad backs from sitting on chairs, letting their neck slouch forward like that, which also gives them internal shoulder rotation. 2 very bad things that come from office work, school desks, and video gaming. So since we're on video game platforms, well, I'm on 3 different platforms here, but Twitch being one of them, being the main one, and the only one whose chat I look at. If you're just doing some gentle neck circles, it just strengthens and relaxes. Burping, sorry. Relaxes the muscles that you have in your neck. And folks, your neck contains this thing called your spine, which is part of your brain, and it's something that is very, very important to make sure you just have those muscles and the bones just sort of moving freely so nothing really gets stuck and jarred. A lot of people, when they're lying in bed for too long, if they're just lazy or, you know, I can't say I didn't lay in bed most of the day yesterday, watching some garbage, I can't even remember what it was, that's how important it was, and standing up and then creaking my neck. Really, if you can just do a few of these every day as well, it's not really a start building me thing, it's not really going to get your heart rate up, but it's just something to be mindful of, like exercise in general. On Start Building Me, you just want to be mindful of the fact that your neck is still, you know, has your spine connected. If you've seen The Predator, you'll know exactly how it's all connected when he severs it from the different soldiers. Anyway, it's a PG channel, folks, so I'm not going to be talking about The Predator in here, but if you've seen it, you might know about it. Show people watch other people show it, huh? Yeah, well, like I said, this is my my way to give back, folks. I don't want anything from this, even with your engagement. It's just to stop you looking at the media and stop you focusing on World War III and ecological disasters and political madness, folks. To hell with those idiots. Focus on yourself. And they used to say, speaking of Diablo, that focusing on the self is the devil. But I put it to you, folks, that really, you're not going to help anyone in your life if you haven't supported yourself first, and it all starts with exercise. The amount of times I've smashed myself into the literal ground, into the dirt, and have come back from that has all been as a result of exercise, folks. So please, whatever form it is, whether it's here, whether it's commuting, whether you're riding to and from school on your push bike, whatever it takes, I'm just trying to spread the word that exercise is mandatory, folks. You can't escape it. You can't convince me any otherwise, because unfortunately I have the science to support it, folks, and this is just the way it goes. We're already at 15 minutes. I'm going to do a few more squats, do a few push-ups. Let's get out of here. It's Monday, folks. I've had a great Monday. I hope you have as well, wherever you are in the world, watching live or on repeat. It doesn't matter to me as long as you are doing some form of exercise. Might not even be what you're doing here, but you might just click on the link and hear me saying this, and you can give yourself a pat on the back and say, hey, I play soccer, or I like skateboarding, and I go out to the park and hang out with my mates and skateboard, and then awesome. That's what I'm saying, folks. That is awesome, and that's what everybody needs to be doing. And if everybody just did that bare minimum, the world would be a better place. And it sounds so ridiculous to say that, but it's quite definitely the truth, folks. If everyone exercised in this planet, the world would be a quite literal better place. The amount of money that we would have, that the government wouldn't have to spend on issues that come from people who have a sedentary lifestyle, and in addition who have who overconsume, we would be better off. Anyway, let's go down the floor cam. I shall, whoopsie, click down here, click down here. Now I can't see my screen anymore. Well done, Dave. Now, is that still a wide angle? Yes. It doesn't look like it's so high anymore. Maybe it's because I'm not so high anymore, man. But I'm still orange. I don't like that I'm still orange. It's the same light. How does that happen? I need some light techs out here. Probably just to spend a little bit more money on my setup. But folks, that's not happening anytime soon. Old Gordo here is quite thrifty. Likes to save money on his setup, so unless something really comes up, I'm going to avoid spending any more money on this. Let me think about how much money I've spent on it. It would all be easily a few $1,000s, folks. And that's without my time. And it's quite a simple setup. But if you think, you know, even GoPros these days are like $800 Australian. Green screen material. Now, I may or may not have made a deal with somebody that I know in China to send it to me, so saved a little bit of money there. Now, there's surprisingly expensive heavy-duty green cotton. You would never really think about that. Scaffolding for bunnings, saved every corner that I could. Cut every corner that I could, rather, so it's pretty cool, but I like it. Get some negative feedback from my friends who run YouTube channels. They don't like the green screen, but I don't really like the backdrop of places in my room. And the good backdrops that I have in my house are littered with smelly dogs who try to cut in on the engagement on my YouTube channel. And I don't want them pulling a heist on Start Building Me and taking over the channel, because there is a chance that people find them more likable than me. So I've got to make sure that mutiny doesn't happen, folks. It's just business. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Another thing that I'm going to have to do as well is reduce my gym sessions to an hour. Hour and a half is the straw that breaks the donkey's back. And also buys me some more time to do some other stuff in the house whilst nursing my knee, my ankle, one of my hips. Mate, trying to teach people to do Start Building Me stuff, I've got to practice what I preach, make sure they don't go through the same pitfalls as me. Folks, when you injure yourself, if something hurts when you're doing this now, stop, take a few days off. That's the time where you go play video games. That's the time where you can do whatever you want. Don't push through pain. Never train through pain. That's just an old meme. No pain, no gain. It's certainly not the truth. And you'd really try to mitigate damage when you are doing exercise. So last week and the week before, I've had some issues with the tendons in my elbow. So I've really had to make sure that there are certain exercises that I do at the gym that I avoided. Omni hug in the house. How do you mind, mate? That's happening, brother. Hope you've been all right. Sorry I was away all last week, but Dave at startbuilding.me did some damage to himself. So like I say, it's hard to say, follow what I say, not what I do, when I'm literally trying to instruct people about how to stay healthy. But even people, any person on this planet can make a mistake, me being included, did some damage. You have some new flooring? I do have some new flooring. Thank you for noticing. Much appreciated. Trying to keep that theme going of the beach that I had originally with in mind as the background of Start Building Me is supposed, well, it most definitely is the beach where I used to live in Maroubra, New South Wales. So I had the sand floor, and the sand floor didn't look so cool. So I changed up and put a rug on it instead. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Also shilling my instructionals, folks. I have some basic instructionals on my Start Building Me YouTube site. Check it out if at all interested. There is going to be a whole bunch more coming up soon, but I have been slightly occupied with other contracts at the moment. Have you ever been bitten by spiders? Of course I've been bitten by spiders. My mother even got bitten by a Sydney funnel web, and she's so hardcore that she drove herself to hospital. No dramas at all. So we have a lot of myths about dangerous spiders in Australia. I'm not really sure if... I know, is it the white cross spider or one of them that creates necrosis, which is not so great. I think it does some damage to your liver, but I'm not 100% sure if that's true. I know it was apparently one of the guitarists from Slayer, Jeff Hanneman, who died, but that was from liver cirrhosis because he was a massive drunk. Yeah, funnel web, so that's it. And that's apparently the worst one, right? Funnel web spider, Sydney funnel web is supposed to be the most dangerous spider in Australia. And yeah, Big Jules, my mum, just took the bike, got in the car, drove up. What have I been doing this last week? Watching the news. That's it, Gangster Jules. What have I been watching? The latest season of South Park's been okay. What else have I been watching? Don't think I've got any decent media that I can refer to at this stage. Not really. UFC was pretty cool this week. If anybody watches the UFC, seeing John Jones back after 3 years. Sanity and I watched that and watched John Jones win the fight within about 20 seconds. So that wasn't the best $50 spent on pay-per-view. But it was cool to see that madman come back. Love him or hate him. As I said to our Sanity 2, on the day, extract the artist from the person. Or is it the other way? Extract the person from the artist. Whichever way it is, folks. There are people who can do some amazing things that you might not like as a person. That is just the way the world operates. But with politicians, you can hate the person and you can hate them as a politician. That is fair game, folks. That is some free inside advice from Dave here at Start Building Me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know, I might do 10 more and get out of here. What do you reckon, folks? It was far from disappointing. Yeah, I think you'll be interested to see where it goes from here. That's where I was happy to see that. With a little bit of hope, we'll get some good flow. Stay forever. kitchen stream. It's gonna happen soon. Basically, I was thinking when my gym membership expires that I would just do all my training here in my Start Building Me studio with kettlebells and dumbbells, Omni hugs, so stay tuned. I might be here all the time. I was thinking of Dave's morning sessions where I just drink coffee, read healthcare media and make fun of it whilst doing some stretches and some dumbbell work and some other bits and pieces just to keep my stream up more whilst I still have the time to do it, so stay tuned. I like your thinking, Omni Hug. You've been around for a long time. You come in with the goods sometimes, so I like that. Kitchen stream. Yeah, it'll be pretty boring actually because I usually just make protein shakes. I'll also try and keep some streams coming up a lot longer in the future, especially if I cut back my gym time, folks, because as I said, my mission in life is to make sure everybody sees how important exercise is, even just a little bit, even if you're just doing 5 or 10 minutes here and there, it's better than none, obviously, right? And if you do that stuff, it will make you feel mentally stronger, and it really is true. It's really hard to explain it to people, but there have been times where I've been hospitalized from motorcycle crashes, car crashes, all kinds of different injuries, and starting back from the hospital bed, not being able to walk and getting back and slowly clawing yourself back to walking, back to running or skipping, back to going to the gym and lifting weights, and every single day it makes your brain feel just that little bit more confident, giving you that strength to just have a little bit more self-respect and just, self-empowerment and stuff that is really being diminished by, in my opinion, by the media, by the government, by all these, all this BS that's been fed to us by all these different channels. And I'd really like people to see that message, not only from me, there's so many other positive sources out there that I'm trying to expose people to, but it's not the government, it's not the media like the news and stuff, it's not corporations. None of those people are your friends, folks. You are your own friend, and you are the person that I'm always trying to show you. It all starts with exercise. And how do I know this? Because I am a person that was a beat down nerd back at school, and I learned to train, and I learned to box and wrestle and do jiu-jitsu and all these things, and all of a sudden, hey, I've got self-confidence now. I feel stronger. I can go and talk more confidently to people, stuff that I really used to struggle with as a kid. And it sounds so stupid, it sounds like maybe so obvious, but a lot of people, it's not that obvious when I start speaking to this to a lot of people. That doesn't come so naturally, basically. So that's what I'm always trying to do here, folks, is just show you that with basic exercise on a daily basis and some banter and some polite dialogue, as always, you can improve yourself in such a big way. I'm going to do 10 more push-ups and get out of here. As always, folks, like I'm always going to say, like a broken record, like and subscribe, and shoot me a message on any of my social media. I'm always around, folks. I am an IT pro, which means I'm always on the computer. And as a result, if I'm always on the computer, I'm always there to answer questions, always there to answer questions about diet, exercise, whatever it is that you ask questions about. So, folks, I'm out of here. Have a great night. Love you for your attention, as always, folks. Thank you for listening. Train as always. I will be back tomorrow night. I guarantee it. Sorry for my absence last week, but hey, even Dave breaks down. Have a good night, folks. Take it easy.